It's the new moon.
It's the new
You think
moon,
it was
yeah.
Mercury retrograde
Yeah,
or something.
that's right, yeah.
Okay, well you can see us, we both up anyway. Are we the right way? Yes, the right way. Okay.
Don't you think we should log off and go back on again?
Yeah.
Because it's very difficult for us both to be in the picture.
It's okay. Just come closer.
Okay.
Hi everybody, welcome. Sorry about that. We're not sure what happened or what's happening while it's doing that.
Yeah.
First,
Bit of a mystery.
technology.
Yeah.
Can you hear us okay? I'm assuming you can. Okay, awesome.
Okay, your portrait. Yeah, I know we can't get it
You can't
landscape
sit
for some
sideways.
reason tonight. Technology, one of those challenging things. So let's do normal, and that's centering ourselves here in the present moment, and just focusing on the here and now. And we do that by gently closing our eyes, taking a deep breath in, releasing the breath, and sinking down deeper into your bodies. And as you sink down into your bodies, just release any attachment to the story, to yesterday, to tomorrow. We withdraw our mind from all of the times and all of the places and just become centered in the present moment. The here and now. The only place that's real is here and now. And we do that by accepting the isness of just this moment, here and now. We've got a lot of challenges in our lives maybe, and we can pick those up and worry about them a bit later, but right now we drop them all. And we just focus our attention on the body. The body is something that's so precious. The body is alive. It has life in it. And the life that's in the body is presence. The life that's in the body is the divine essence, the spark of creation itself. So what we do as we focus on our body, we align our awareness with reality, with the divine essence. So take another very deep breath in, into your body, and as you breathe out again, sink deeper into your body. Come into full alignment. Feel your feet on the floor, your hands resting, not clenched, arms not crossed. Take a very deep breath in again, deep breath in right down to those toes, and then a beautiful, long, relaxing, surrendering breath out. Just let it all go. And now allow this energy, which we call life, to breathe you. Just surrender the control of the breath to life. Just settle back further into your chair and down into the present moment. Just allowing this moment to be exactly as it is. For what is. And while the mind continually interprets situations and circumstances and people and events, wanting them to be other than what they are, this is what is. Just this moment, here and now. And so we allow life to be just in this moment, exactly the way it is. We become aware of the faculty of listening, which is a wonderful tool to bring stillness into our awareness. And so we listen to all the sounds around us. Tonight in Cape Town we've got a cold front passing through, so we have wind. And we can hear the wind rustling the leaves and the wooden wind chimes outside. What can you hear? What evening sounds are being picked up by your ears right now? Without judging them right or wrong or wishing they were different, we just accept everything we can hear right now. And as we listen, we become aware that we are the stillness that listens. We are the quietness that underlies all sound. We are the unconditioned consciousness, listening to the conditioned world of sound. And as you listen from a state of stillness. Bring your awareness to the chair that you're sitting on. Feel what the squab feels like under your bum. Feel what the backrest feels like supporting your back. And you might like to say thank you to the chair. Feel where your feet are resting right now. Feel your toes. Acknowledge each one in turn. Bring your awareness into your hands and acknowledge each finger and the thumbs for the incredible dexterity, for the experience that they give you, which would be impossible without the hands. Bring your awareness to the temperature of the air in the room on your cheeks. Just be aware of the air that surrounds you and the incredible gift it is to breathe. So we're listening to all the sounds that we can hear, particularly the faint ones. We're aware of our body sitting. We're aware of our feet and our hands. We're aware of the temperature of the room on our cheeks. And now we bring our awareness to our eyelids, which, while gently closed, may also form a screen. Just see if you can see any pictures on that screen of your eyelids as they're gently closed. Become aware of the sensation of vision behind your closed eyelids. And now become aware of who is aware of that. The awareness has no story. The awareness is just the isness, the sacred essence of presence. And the purpose of these satsangs is to awaken our awareness more to the sacred essence of life, which is presence, which is who you really are. The purpose of satsang is to bring peace into our awareness. And peace arises naturally as we align ourselves with the depth of this moment. And so we take another deep breath in. And a beautiful, long, relaxing breath out. And now we gently open our eyes. And as we open our eyes, just become aware of how your body feels in this moment. How do you feel in this moment? How do you feel? You might like to just, in the comments box, let us know how you're feeling. And let us know where you are watching from. We like to know who we're reaching and where you're watching from. And how you feel in this moment. And we love getting the hearts, by the way, and the likes.
Yeah.
And if you value what we teach, if we can ask you just in this moment just to press the share button, because that it disseminates this feed to a wider audience. So if we can ask you just to click the share button, and the feed goes out to a bigger audience.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Lovely to have you here on a Sunday night.
Yeah. Sorry about the portrait.
Our little skedaddles.
Yeah, the camera wouldn't.
It's got something new on it. It's got all sorts of things happening that
Yeah.
don't normally happen. So
Yeah.
I think they've made an update or something.
Okay.
We'll
All
have
right.
to
We'll
try
figure it out.
Figure it out, but not now.
Yeah.
For now, we'll just squeeze into a portrait.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Mm.
So what's happening in the heavens?
We've just had new moon, which I did a whole thing on. So probably some of you have watched that. If not, you can see it on the page, on my page. So new moon was yesterday. New moon in Pisces, lots of gentle energy around, lots of feminine flowing, feeling energy. So for many of you, you may have felt those feelings come up. I know I have. And just got to let them flow and be as gentle as possible. I think a lot of stuff can come up at this time of the year because it's a time to let go of an old cycle. And what's the day today? The 15th? 14th?
14th.
Well, every year the sun goes through 12 signs, starting with Aries and ending with Pisces. So the sun's
So you're saying Aries is number 1?
You would say that because you're Aries, John.
Yeah.
Yes, let's say Aries is number 1. It is. So Aries is the first, Pisces is the last. And so when the sun makes its transit through Pisces, it's ending off the year. So we should actually have New Year when the sun enters Aries. That would be the actual physical start of New Year. So whenever we are going through the end of Pisces, it's the end of a season. So we're letting go of whatever we have amassed in the year, whatever we've learned, whatever we want to let go of, whatever we've been through, the challenges, and we've been through plenty this year, haven't we?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
and last year.
It's not completely finished yet. So it's just letting go and releasing, and so we're clearing the field for a new year.
It's quite interesting then if you think of the astrological year that we went into this whole lockdown thing as we started the new astrological cycle.
We certainly did.
That's a bit weird.
We did.
Maybe there's something to astrology.
No, maybe. Yeah, so this is, let's hope it brings some new energy in with it.
Yeah.
I think we're all ready
well,
for
it will,
that.
definitely.
Yeah.
It will.
But this is a time for releasing and for being present for what's arising, so you can clear it.
Yeah.
It's almost like clearing the fields so you can plant your new crop.
Yeah. Yeah, it's doing the final clearing of the year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
And also you tell me that the new moon is a good time for planting.
New moon's planting seeds.
So we are planting new seeds, new ideas, new intentions.
Yeah.
It's a fertile soil for setting, new intentions for yourself. What is it you really, really, really want in life? I mean, that's quite important. And the subject of tonight's satsang is liberation. And possibly we can set intentions for liberation. That would be very good.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this would actually set the tone for the whole year, because it'll be the first it's the first new moon basically before the sun goes into Aries.
Yeah. So the intentions we set now are therefore quite important for the coming 12 months.
Yeah.
We're setting that tone, that whole vibration, that ripple in time and space. So it's a good idea to spend a bit of time saying, what are my intentions for the coming 12 months? And to focus on what is really real, and not just what the mind wants.
Exactly.
To focus on the depth of life. What is it you really? And you'll find that if you're honest with yourself, it's a feeling, isn't it? It's a feeling. What we all want is a particular feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Anything else from a star's point of
So
view?
that's about it, I think.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Where are the challenges in the sky at the moment? What's happening
Uranus and Saturn, freedom versus control.
Ah.
That's around for the whole year.
Okay, so they're in a dance of conflict,
so
freedom and
liberation
control.
versus control.
Yeah.
Restriction versus freedom. You can call it that for the whole year.
Yeah.
There's this dynamic. Sorry, I can't wave my hands around because I'm holding the mic.
Okay.
And I usually speak with my hands, so it's quite hard. But yeah, so it's that square which is kind of around for most of the year, coming and going, but it's the energy of the old versus the new. Restriction versus freedom, contraction versus expansion. So
I saw earlier a clip on Germany. I think it was massive riots taking place there at the moment. So that's probably part of this energy, is it? Would you think?
Yeah, it's happening all
riots,
over the place. Greece, they're happening all over. I think.
And I see in South Africa we've got an event for the 20th or the 21st, 20th.
I think it's the 20th.
Yeah,
I think it's a whole mass thing. It's a global thing.
Global thing on the 20th of, is that next Saturday? That's for, basically expressing our discontent at lack of freedom as far as everything goes. So that's a good idea. So do you think the energies support that?
I think
at the
so.
moment? Yeah. Good.
So.
So, well, welcome to those who've just joined. Tonight's satsang is on liberation. And what is liberation? What are we being liberated from?
That's a good question, hey? Because I think a lot of people see liberation as happiness. What I need to make me feel happy.
Well, surely when we're free, we're happy? No?
No, so I think that's the theme for tonight. Hey?
Yeah.
What actually is liberation, and what are we asking when we say we want liberation? What are we actually setting in motion?
Yeah, and what is it we need to be free from?
Yeah.
That's the question. And the mind tends to focus on the objective reality. It always focuses on objects because that's what the mind does. It's an object perceiver. I mean, that's what the mind does. It only values objects. And yet, as I said earlier, if we're really honest about what it is we really, really, really want, it's not an object. I mean, yes, we want objects, but why do we want the object? We want the object because when we get the right object, be it a person, an event, a holiday, or whatever, it's going to give us a feeling, we think. So it's actually the feeling that we really, really want. And so true liberation, I believe, is to experience the feeling that we want, isn't it? That's really what we want. We want the feeling of liberation. And the mind says, yeah, but you can't feel that way now because of X, Y, Z. And, well, not X, Y, Z, it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, all the way up to Z, says the mind. There's so many barriers between us and this liberation.
Yeah, if only I had more money, I'd be free.
Money would give me liberation.
If only I had a better partner, or a better house, or a better job, or better
mother-in-law,
better kids.
Yeah,
look
better kids.
Better, thinner, fatter, fitter.
Better government.
Better government.
Yeah.
Then I'd be free.
That's right. So it's probably more than A to Z. There's a lot of reasons that the mind thinks that you can't be free now, and yet you can be. You can be free now, because the only thing that we really need to be liberated from, and here's the absolute truth, which I know we should only give you at the end of the satsang, but let's give it to you now. The only thing that blocks true liberation is this 1.4 kilograms of grey jelly on our shoulders. It's the mind. It's the manufacturing of discontent. That's what blocks our experience direct of liberation in this moment. There are people who have acquired a lot of money, and they do not feel free. In fact, if you drive around the really affluent suburbs, you'll see huge walls and massive electric fences and razor wire, and you see guards at the entrance. Well, I think living in a prison isn't exactly freedom, is it? Not at all. So, no, I don't think that, money doesn't exclude freedom. It can include it, but it doesn't bring it to you directly. It's not money. It's not circumstances that bring us the liberation which we want. Because if your mind is still in control, then you are not going to have that direct experience of liberation. You can't.
I think it's like anything that if we look for it on the outside, it'll give us momentary satisfaction and a sense of freedom, and we'll have that for a while, maybe 5 minutes or maybe 5 months. But at some point, when that gets old, there'll be that same yearning for that feeling that you're looking for, won't there?
Yeah, the feeling comes back. A lot of us we yearn for, maybe a tropical island. We want a tropical island where we can be free. We're going to live on the tropical island. And we arrive on the tropical island, and for the first few days is absolutely heaven. We feel free. We we prance around the beach and we swim naked, and it's really beautiful and wonderful. And then the mind comes back. Once the novelty of that experience starts to wear off, suddenly we go back into repeating mind patterns. And the mind is an organ of discontent. And so it will look for reasons why we can't feel liberated in that moment. And it'll come up with many different reasons. It could be the mosquitoes. It could be the fact that you're wrong with the wrong partner there. You should have chosen the other partner. Or maybe the only food to eat is coconuts. But there will be the mind will manufacture reasons, and likewise you can be sitting in a prison cell and experience liberation, and that is something that the mind cannot conceive of. And I know, listening to Eckhart Tolle, he gets letters from many people in prison, and there are many people who have experienced through the power of presence liberation inside a prison cell. So it doesn't depend on circumstances. It depends on becoming master of our mind. It depends upon liberating ourselves from our beliefs, because it's our beliefs that block us from living the free life that we are choosing to, or that we have been ordained to experience. It's the beliefs, it's the thought patterns, it's the repetitive thought patterns that block us from that direct experiencing of that joyful feeling of liberation, because liberation is a feeling. It really is a feeling, is it not?
Yeah, and it's inside. Hey, you don't. We think that it's going to come from outside, so we try and change the circumstances and turn, move the furniture around outside, and it doesn't work. So then we change it, move around more stuff outside. If only the outside world was better, then I could feel that sense of freedom. I could feel liberated. And I don't think there's a living soul on the planet that doesn't want to feel liberated. I think I think it's something that we all hold. And what is it really? What are we really saying when we want to be free? Because a lot of the time when we say we want to be free, it means letting go of attachment to what we believe we need.
Yeah.
And that's not for everybody.
Yeah.
Because it's what defines us very often is our roles, what we've achieved, what we've accomplished, what we own, our dreams for the future. Those things all define us. But on the same token, if they define you, you're not going to be free, because you're going to be looking for the next thing to make you feel free, and then discovering that it doesn't. So I think it's great to have those desires and have those passions, but not to define yourself by them.
Yeah, it's a defining
and wrap
ourselves,
your freedom and your feeling happy or feeling free up in those desires. Yeah.
Because liberation for the mind would be to have whatever it wants, And the absolute truth is you can never fulfill all the mind's wants, because it's always a conditional. So you'll get one or two things, and that's what the mind wanted. It really, really wanted that. I remember some friends many years ago in Johannesburg, and they bought this lovely house, and they were slowly furnishing it. And the wife would say, I would be really happy when we get the curtains, And then I'd go and visit them next time they got the curtains. Now, was she really happy? No, because now we need that couch. We need that leather couch. And then you go a little while later and they got the leather couch. Now, was she really happy? No, because the mind always manufactures more desire. That's what the mind does. It can never be happy now. Well, it can be happy now once it gets what it wants for a very short time. And then in the getting mode, we feel good because desire has gone out the window for a few minutes. But it flies back in again. And then it tells you, no, but you need this. And it's that constant need for more that blocks us from true peace and joy and happiness. And so we believe that objects can bring us the liberation. So if I was able to have any object in the world, then I'd feel totally free. And that's absolutely not true, because I know in my personal life, at one stage I acquired quite a lot, and I felt that it actually owned me. I felt prisoner to my possessions. And I remember when I went insolvent 20 years ago, and I lost a big house, and I remember standing outside the house when I realized it was all going to go. And I felt this sense of absolute freedom. This joy came into me. And, I've spoken about it before. The words of the song by Chris Christopherson, me and Bob McGee. Freedom is having nothing left to lose. And you don't physically have to lose your objects. What you do have to do, as Michelle was saying, is you have to lose your attachment to the objects. You don't define yourself by the objects you have. That's true liberation. That's true freedom. So it's really losing, because what is an attachment? It's not a physical attachment. You're not physically attached to your car. Well, hopefully we're not. But we are mentally attached, because it's my car, or my house, or my religion, or my child. These are all a sense of self. They're mine, they're me, they're who I am. And it's that thought that binds us to the physical world. It's the sense of me and mine. It's not the object that's a problem. You can have as many objects as you like, but if there's a sense of self and attachment to who I am to that object, then you're robbed of freedom. So liberation is a liberation from attachment. Yeah. And what Buddha said is there's only one thing that causes all the suffering on earth, well, he defined it this way. I'm not saying he's right, but he said that that desire and attachment are the root of all suffering. Basically, desire and attachment. And liberation is just liberation from that mental sense of I.
And I think also the attachment to the belief that life should be easy and things should go well and we shouldn't have challenges. And that if we're having challenges, we're doing something wrong. There's something wrong with us, or we've strayed off our path, or whatever we decide to define it as. And it's not that. Life is challenge. And we're here on this planet because each of us chose to be here, to be part of this, what we're in now, which we're seeing as an awakening, an opportunity to awaken. But that doesn't mean it's easy. And I think the attachment to the belief that it should be easy and we should be happy and we should wake up feeling blissful every day and we shouldn't have any challenges, that's another attachment, which is going to keep us stuck in the same old rut, going around and around. It's the same thing as being attached to our roles and our possessions and our everything else. It's attached to this feeling that it should be this way and it's not. Therefore, I'm doing something wrong, or I'm flawed, or I'm faulty, or something wrong with me. No, you're just on a journey, and the challenge is to help you wake up. To help us all wake up. And I think at this point, many of us have been challenged more than we've been challenged ever before in our lives. If you just look across the world to see what's going on, it's hugely challenging. And it's even if it's not happening in our own personal lives, it's happening at a level in which we feel it, So we're feeling the anguish of people. So it's not that it's not that liberation necessarily makes everything blissful, and then now I'm liberated or I'm heading towards that way, and now everything's blissful in my life. No, it's about saying, okay, life's going to carry on, dishing out challenges and dishing out whatever it needs to dish out. It's how I react to it, how I respond to it, how I dance with it. That's the choice, isn't it?
It is, and I remember reading many, many years ago Scott Peck's very famous book, A Road Less Travelled, and the opening line is there that life is difficult. Life is difficult, and we have this perception that if life is difficult, then life is wrong, or I am wrong. I'm doing something wrong, or life is doing something wrong to me. And that's such a powerful statement. I mean, that statement was a complete shift for me, because up until then I believed that obviously I'm wrong or life is wrong. And then we see, no, but hang on a minute, the actual purpose of life is to help us grow, to help us awaken. And we do that through the very resistance or the very mode of challenges in life. It's challenges that help us let go of all that we need to let go of. So challenges are not wrong, they're right. And I believe that challenges are part of the human experience, and they will continue. And liberation doesn't come when you don't have any more challenges. Liberation comes when you don't attach yourself and your identity and your outcome and your future to a particular challenge, because all challenges come and all challenges go. And you are the eternal presence that's witnessing that underneath all of that. You're not the personality. You're not the not even the human. You are the being. You are the being underneath the human. You're the human being. And as we start to realize that's what self-realization is, to realize you are the being, you are the unconditioned consciousness, looking through these eyes, experiencing this world. And then you greet each challenge not as something wrong. You don't label it wrong anymore, and you don't denigrate life for giving you the challenges, and you don't beat yourself up for taking the wrong path that gave you this challenge. You greet each challenge as an opportunity to awaken, as an opportunity to see what is more real than the thoughts in your head, than the attachments and the expectations that we have in our minds. So every challenge that we ever have is a portal for awakening, if we prepare to go into it directly and allow it to be there. Because what the mind does never allows. And in the resistance to life, that is a a knee-jerk response. It's a reptilian, in the old part of our brain, reptilian response, fight, flight, or freeze. That's the normal response of the mind. And the more we do that, the more unconscious we become. You know that when you're in a state of fight or flight, you're not conscious. You revert back to unconscious patterns. So true liberation comes when we greet the challenges of life, not by going back into that old mindset, but by looking for the opportunity in this moment, the opportunity for presence, for pure awareness, knowing that what is real can't be threatened. And that is quite something. Your beingness can never be threatened. Your humanness can, your possessions can, your relationships can, but not your beingness.
Yeah, it completely shifts it really, because you're seeing it through a different lens, from a different perspective. So I think if we are faced with challenges, which all of us are, hurts, betrayals, letdowns, disappointments, whatever arises in our awareness, it's to actually look at it and see it, and instead of saying, well, why has this happened to me? It shouldn't have happened. That person shouldn't have said that, or whatever it is. No, the person did it and said it because it should have happened, because I'm here and I brought that into my awareness for a reason. And even if that's just a map, which I don't believe it is, but even if it was a map, it's a useful map, because it stops you from being a victim of circumstance. You can see it and say, what's it teaching me? What am I learning here? What am I clearing? And especially in the last week, it's come up for a lot of people, I know. Deep stuff's come up from the unconscious with this Pisces energy. Things that you might have thought that you cleared, that you didn't have an attachment to anymore. Things that you might have thought that you'd done and dusted and sorted, suddenly came up and said, no, I'm still here. And so we can see that as something wrong, like we should be above that, or we can see it as, oh, okay, this is another opportunity to clear that which is actually blocking me from realizing who I really am, which is what John's just said. Who are you really? You're the awareness that sees everything, that is aware of everything. Because when you're the awareness, you aren't it. So when you can be aware of a feeling that you're having, you're not fully immersed in the feeling. You're watching it. When you're watching your thoughts, you're able to actually observe your thoughts rather than be carried away by your thoughts. So that's the liberation, isn't it? It's in each moment.
It's in each moment. True liberation then is when you are the awareness and not the thought. Because in truth, who you really are is already liberated.
Yeah.
Who you really are is free. Mm-hmm. The true essence of your beingness is already free. But it has, we have attached our identity to the world of form, the world of thoughts, the world of relationships, the world of careers, the world of politics. That's where we've attached ourselves to. And in that, we are prisoner. We're prisoner to the objects. We are servants of our thoughts. And this process, I believe, that mankind is going through at the moment is an opportunity, Michelle mentioned earlier, for awakening, for massive awakening, because it's easier to wake up from a nightmare than a comfortable dream. If your dream is wonderful, there's going to be no incentive to say there has to be a better way. But when circumstances become challenging, then we reach out and we say there has to be a better way. And when we ask, then we are given the guidance, the insights to help us with that. So, part of this process is to change how you see challenges, to change them from seeing challenges as wrong to challenges as right. They're part of the human experience. They're part of the human growth experience. And when we start to greet them with acceptance, we are opening ourselves up to gaining the gift that particular set of circumstance, the challenge that we're experiencing has to offer us, because every single challenge that we ever experience is an opportunity in there. In the Chinese, we've spoken about before, the Chinese, the word for crisis has both danger and opportunity in there. And so every challenge, there's a danger of losing ourselves, losing our mind, going into the reptilian sort of fight, flight, freeze response, or the opportunity to awaken in that moment
and deepen, hey?
And to deepen. Yeah.
I was thinking with your the book, The Road Less Traveled, he talked about relationships there and how we fall in love and the other person can do no wrong and we're completely blended and merged into each other for the first while. It's beautiful. And then after a while, you start to separate again and you have your first disagreement and you start to then, very often, you start to think, oh, should I really be with this person? Because we're not the same. There's a challenge coming up here. This isn't the person I thought that I got involved with in the beginning. And I remember him writing in that book that's the chance for you to actually deepen the relationship. The first bit is just to get you together. And it's wonderful because it comes up again and again. And as the relationship deepens, that can actually even be better. But the challenges that come in are actually there to make you go deeper into more authenticity, into really understanding each other, really seeing each other, which you don't at the beginning. At the beginning, it's you seeing what you want to see in the other person. So I think it's like that with everything. It's like that with relationships, with jobs, with everything that we do. It's wonderful to have them, but not to be connected to them as completely attached to them, as defining my happiness because of that. Because that's going to change. Because that's always going to change because it's outside.
Yeah.
And we have the feeling that it shouldn't change. It should stay the same. Why is everything changing? Because it does. Everything changes. Even the difficult stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And the liberation, if we think about what it is we really, really, really want, we can put a few different words in there, and we don't want the word, but there's an expression of consciousness, a feeling that comes through the word. And the one word which we can put in there is love. Surely if we're liberated, we experience love. Yeah, love is in a liberated state. When you are in love, there's a greater sense of liberation, isn't there? We've all experienced that. And this journey of liberation is a journey back into that state of love. And love doesn't happen through gaining or meeting desires. That's not where love comes from. Love comes from opening to life as it is in this moment. So when there's a challenge, the mind will automatically, normally, strategize, manipulate, and close us down. I mean, that's what the mind will do. But love, on the other hand, if liberation is really what we're looking for and really what we're yearning for, then as we meet the challenges of love, we look at every single challenge in life as an opportunity to love deeper, to love more fully, to love more really, to love life as it is instead of the way the mind thinks it ought to be. So there's an opportunity in all the challenges that we have to go deeper. And what is love? Love is not ownership. Love is not possession. Love is not having your needs met by an object, be it a person or a situation. Love is an allowing. Love is an acceptance. Love is an appreciation of exactly what is in this moment. That's what love is. And every single challenge we have is another opportunity to allow, to accept, and to appreciate. Don't ask your mind to want to do that, because your mind is a mechanism or a machine that will always put objections. It will disallow. It will not accept, and it won't appreciate. And that's the nature of the mind. This has to happen in the heart. This allowing, this accepting, this appreciation is a different level of awareness. So liberation is actually a dropping into the heart and living from our heart. It's the liberation of your awareness, which is heart-centered, from the mind. It's the liberation from your story. It's the liberation from your judgmental, your critical mind. That's the true liberation that we are speaking about here.
Yeah. Liberation from expectation too.
Yeah. If you find this helpful, just click the like button and share it, because maybe there's someone else on the net tonight who needs these words. Yeah.
And if you think about it, and the liberation really, as you say, with sort of with the love, it's the difference between opening and closing, really.
Yeah.
So what I said with Uranus and Saturn, this major transit that we've got this year, liberation versus contraction and control. And it's sort of the same as opening, closing. So we've often spoken about it before, but in each and every moment, because it's only in this moment that we can choose what to do, is to say, am I prepared to open to this, or am I closing to it? And closing is a sense of contraction.
Yeah.
And that's not liberating. Liberation is a sense of, I can breathe freely.
Breathing out is liberation.
Breathing out is liberation.
Yeah, yeah.
Feeling a lack of contraction in your body is liberation.
Yeah.
A freedom in your mind is liberation.
Yeah.
And that you only get that through opening.
Through surrendering.
Not closing.
Yeah. So if you think of in that breath, the breathing in is a doing and the breathing out is a letting go. So the word letting go and liberation go hand in hand, don't they?
It's a feminine energy.
Yeah.
Letting go.
Is.
It's releasing.
Yeah.
Holding and releasing.
Yeah.
But not contracting or not forcing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And love is a surrender, isn't it? When you're in love, you're in a surrendered state. You're not in a controlling, manipulative state.
Mm-mm.
It's an allowing state. It's that and the analogy which I use is to think of there's an ocean of love. You are surrounded by an ocean of love. You can think of this massive, beautiful ocean of love. And you're the tap. And in order for water to flow, the tap has to be open. So the more open we are, the more love will flow through us into our experience, into our human experience. And how do we become more open? We become more open by allowing, by accepting, and by appreciating. That opens us up. By criticizing, by judging, by going into fear or resentment or guilt, it closes us down. But in fact, as we become more accepting of this moment, just of this moment, as we become more appreciative just of this moment, we appreciate this, just this in this moment. Can we appreciate this? The answer is yes. If you think about falling in love and you are sitting across the table and having dinner, candlelit dinner with the one you love, in that moment you open. You're not closed, you're open. You're accepting of them. You're not judging them, you're not criticizing them. If you are, you're not going to go anywhere with that relationship. You're accepting the moment. And there is a sense of appreciation for them in this moment. You're appreciating them in this moment. So it's acceptance, it's allowing, it's appreciation. That opens you. And when you open, the ocean of love is able to flow through you into this world. So the more open we are, the more we allow love to flow into this dimension. And that's how important this liberation is. As we are liberated, we liberate more of the whole. We become that open tap which allows love, which is freedom. Love is freedom. We allow that love to come into this dimension, to wash away those mind patterns that keep people imprisoned. The world around us, by the way, as we know, the world around us, the world we find ourselves in, is the world of mind and objects. And that world is created by our thoughts, by our feelings. And as we become more open, as we become more aligned with life, as we become more appreciative of life, as we become more liberated, so the world of form around us will become more liberated. That is the paradox. We're waiting for the forms around us to give us permission to be free. And yet it's the other way around. It's an inside-out job. Liberation is an inside-out job. As we become more liberated within us, as we become more allowing, more appreciative, so that will then feed into the world of physical form around us. And that is what the world needs right now. It needs a change, but the change cannot happen on the outside. It has to first happen on the inside. And each one of us listening to this tonight are very, very important in the unfoldment of this awakening process. Because as you become awakened, as you become more present, as you become more accepting, more in love with life, so you influence the whole field. The whole field of consciousness changes as you become more aligned with it. That's how important it is.
Yeah. It's a little bit more about liberation.
Yeah, we have a course coming up. Those of you who would like to experience more freedom in your life, it's called Journey to Freedom. Journey to Freedom. You can go to our website, which is journeysofawakening.com. I'm going to put the link below this after we finish. Journeysofawakening.com. Take a look at Journey to Freedom. This is our 7th course that we're doing, and the results are really gratifying to see the changes in people's lives as they take on board this. It's a 13-week process. However, the first week is called Life Vision, and it's absolutely free, and you can all join. Just go onto our website and register. There's no charge. You don't put in a credit card or anything like that, and you go through the first week. It starts on the 22nd, Monday evening, and it runs for 7 days, the Life Vision week, and you can join absolutely no charge and travel with us for a whole week.
There's 2 Zoom calls in that week.
We start out with a Zoom call, and we end with a Zoom call, and we give you journal work to do, we give you meditations, we give you teaching videos, and it's all for absolutely free. So do join us. It's on journeysofawakening.com. And then you may want to continue the journey for another 12 weeks after that. And each week we look at another aspect of life. And we go into that aspect of life and we unpack it and we unfold it in our awareness. And we see where the blockages are within us to love.
Yeah, we deal with all sorts of themes. Relationships, we go into relationships, conscious relationships, our life diary, free will and destiny.
Abundance is an important
love,
one.
acceptance.
Yeah.
Freedom,
so
forgiveness. Each week sort of takes you through a journey in sequence so that it actually starts to help you let go of the barriers between you and freedom.
Yeah.
Because that's all it is.
Yeah.
Because as John said earlier, we are already free, we just forgot.
We forgot. When you woke up this morning, you forgot you were free because you watched the news or whatever. You listened to your thoughts. So this is a journey of remembrance. It's a journey of remembering who and what you really are. And it's amazing at how we change how we think about the world and how we feel about the world, how the physical world of circumstances around us changes. And what the world needs more now is more freedom, more liberation. But that has to happen within inside each one of us. Our hearts have to open more. And so, we invite you to join us on that 13-week Journey to Freedom course online. Join us for the first week anyhow and just travel with us for 7 days and see how you enjoy it.
Awesome.
So, can we ask you to lead us with a beautiful visualization, one of your visualizations?
I will.
Thank you for being with us tonight. And after Michelle's visualization, I'm going to draw a card. We'll draw an affirmation card. And the affirmations are one way of liberating ourselves from this troublesome, worrisome mind. So just stick around for the affirmation card afterwards.
How are we doing on time? Okay, can't see it properly. Okay, all right, let's just get ourselves comfy. And just take a lovely deep breath in. And a releasing breath out. And on the next in-breath, just feel the energy of breathing in. And what that encompasses as you breathe in. And then how you feel when you breathe out. On each out-breath, just release any tension, any pressure. Let's do another beautiful, long, deep in-breath. And a totally releasing, letting go out-breath. Let's do one last one. Big, long, deep breath in, all the way up to your chest, all the way up to the top of your lungs. And then sigh out whatever you want to release from the year. Just let it all go. And settle softly, as if you were a feather landing on a very calm lake. Just floating, just being. Connecting with your breath. Just noticing the feeling of the breath coming in through the nostrils and exiting through the nostrils or through the mouth. You're just noticing. You're observing it. And now notice the sound of yourself breathing. The sound of your breath. Now take your attention to the sounds you can hear outside. If you can hone your hearing, total focus on what you can hear. And then bringing the hearing back to your breath. You can go really quiet and listen to the sound of your own heart beating. Picking up your own rhythm. Just noticing this life force that flows through you all the time. Now bring to mind a situation which might be a little tricky for you. A thought. Bring to mind a thought, consciously. And get a sense of what you feel in your body when you think that thought. You're just observing. You're not getting fully into it. You're observing what you feel when you have the thought. And now take a deep breath. Send that breath into that area of your body as if it would dissolve that feeling. Just allow your breath to flow into it. Open more to that feeling. Not less, so open more to it. Breathe into it. And set the intention to just release this feeling in this moment. And now just stay in a state of observation. As if you were an eagle flying high above the earth, watching your life, watching the circumstances around you unfold, able to see all, observe all, soar above it. With full knowledge that at any point when you need to act, you can fly down and attend to whatever you need to. But feel the feeling just for a moment of what it would feel like to fly above the mind, to fly above the circumstances, the desires, the expectations, all those little things on a daily basis that worry you. Just for a brief time, just liberate yourself from it by becoming the observer. And feel what that feels like in your body. Feeling of soaring. Attached to nothing. Seeing everything. Noticing. Feel that feeling and allow that feeling to grow within you and to get bigger. Allow your heart to expand as you feel more of that feeling. Say to yourself, I choose freedom in this moment. I choose freedom in this moment. Let that settle in. Feel how you feel in your body. And then gently bring your attention back to your breath. Take a nice deep breath in and out. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes.
I think I'm still that eagle.
Are you? Still up there in the sky.
Still up there in the sky. So let's just see what affirmation we can receive for the week ahead. I'm trying to choose.
Just my eyes closed. Hang on.
Choose a card. So we have a whole pack of them here. Let's just see which one you chose.
Yeah, that's good. My point of power is in the present.
It's a very powerful affirmation.
The yellow one.
My point of power is in the present moment. You think of your solar plexus here. When I say that affirmation, I always think of my solar plexus. I think of an umbilical cord coming from the sun to my solar plexus.
Yeah.
So I'm connected to the sun. My point of power is in the present moment. That's a liberating
It really is.
affirmation. So as you go through the week ahead, just as you meet the challenges, as there will be, there's always challenges,
Always.
come back to that affirmation. Say it not once, but 100 times a day. My point of power is in the present moment. I'll photograph it and I'll put it up on the Facebook page tonight. So thank you all for joining us. We love these Sunday night satsangs. If you've enjoyed tonight, please press the like and the share button. That gets the word out there, and take a look at our website, journeysofawakening.com, and have a look at Journey to Freedom. Course number 7 starts on the 22nd, and you're welcome to join for the first week. Thank you all. God bless.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for
Love you
joining
lots.
us. Lots of love.